Hi everybody, I just wanted to share a couple things that I do to help me sleep well at night. So I'm going to grab a couple pillows. Hopefully you have more than one in your bed. If not, you can grab any yoga equipment you have or rolled up blankets. So you may or may not see, but my legs are out wide. Not super wide, I'm not going for the biggest straddle position I ever did in my life. But they're wide enough, about as wide as the pillows, and then I would lean forward here. So, whether you can see or not, yes, this is an actual bolster that I was using to prop up the computer. You could use that if you have one handy. And I don't try to go super deep. I'm not going for an intense, crazy stretch. This is not the point. I'm trying to coax myself into not just a better sleep, but falling asleep faster. And sometimes before we go to bed at night, the remnants of the day continue to sort of tumble through the landscape of our little brains, and occasionally the little tumbles turn into big old tumbleweeds because they keep gathering the same momentum about the same things and just keep thinking about the same things over and over again. If it's anything that's happened in the past, we can't possibly change it, so logically we should kind of let that tumbleweed go off into the far reaches of the desert. Anything that we have to do in the morning, sometimes it's good to give yourself a little checklist. Let yourself go over some things you expect are going to happen the next day, whether it's at work or getting your kids ready for school, or for some chores you have planned around the house or errands you have to run. But after you've run through them once, it doesn't really make any sense to keep running through them again and again. So if you can give yourself that time where anything that's sort of knocking at the door of your consciousness is rather loud and obnoxious, you're allowed to let it in and just, tell it, okay, you've got 2 minutes to tell me your story, and then you have to leave because I have to go to sleep. So you don't have to, sit it down at your table and offer it a 5-course meal. You can let it stand at the doorway and yap away at you. And you'll find sometimes that as you allow runaway thoughts or repetitive, compulsive thinking, if you allow it a certain amount of time, at least I feel I get to the point where if I actually focus on worrying and I don't let it be compulsive and I do it consciously, before the time I allow it is even up, I'm done. I'm sick of it. Okay, I'll give myself 2 minutes to worry about this thing I have to do tomorrow. And then I'm actually just sitting there fretting about it, and then I find that I run out of things to say or worry about, and then I realize how silly it kind of is anyways. That I've already prepared for it the best I can, or there is no way to prepare for it, so it's just going to happen when it happens. And that's it. All right, let's come on up. So another thing we'll do together is take one of your legs in and take your other leg out. So I'll show you what this looks like without the pillows. So I've got a little zigzag formation going here. You don't have to get super, crazy about it. And then I just take the pillows on top of the leg that's more in front, okay? This leg is not super behind me. I'm not going into a pigeon pose or anything extreme. I'm just going into like what in yin yoga is called deer pose. So you're like a double stag position. Then you just kind of hang out here. I usually do this with lights off, by the way, but that would make a really creepy video and you wouldn't be able to see anything. And I'm not going to stay here too long because I don't want this video to be too long. And you can always pause it and you kind of get the idea. So after you've let your brain run through its thoughts and you've given it its time and you've shut it down, then sometimes you need another tool. So for me, that's the breath. So here's the breath I use to get me to sleep if putting a time limit on worrying wasn't helpful. So I'll just focus on breathing in and out, and I'll start with breathing in for 2, a count of 2, and then breathing out for a count of 3. And just breathing in and then out just a little bit longer. And then I start holding out the exhale for the same amount of time that I used for the inhale. I'm going to switch sides. In other words, I'm breathing in for 2, breathing out for 3, holding out for 2. And then the next time I go through that cycle, breathing in for 1 and 2, breathing out for 1, 2, 3, holding now for 1, 2, 3. And then I repeat. So the inhale and exhale is always the same. In for 2, out for 3. Hold for 2. In for 2, out for 3, hold for 3. And then you can go back to 2. Or you can keep adding on until you feel like it's difficult or there's a little anxiety that's popping up because you're holding out your breath for too long, and then you just come back incrementally, kind of like a ladder. So we'll do it together for 3 cycles, and then you'll get the idea, and then you can shut off your computer or your phone or whatever and work on getting to sleep. Okay, so we'll do inhale, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2. In, 1, 2. Out, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. Hold, 1, 2. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 3. Increase the hold back up to 3. And so on and so forth. The technique I learned goes all the way up to 6 on the hold and goes back. Sometimes it's too much, and you just need to keep it low. And just keep doing that, and don't let it become automatic. Stay very interested in the count and what it feels like. And, of course, trying to breathe in through your nose is pretty darn important. For those of you that are mouth breathers, it's important to know that when you try to breathe through your nose and it feels like you're not getting enough air, it's because you're used to getting in a lot more air. Because when you breathe through your mouth, you take in more, right? But when you take in air through your mouth, you also miss quite a few processes that help with vasodilation and filtration, and also with regulating the temperature of the breath. And there's a lot of things that happen when you breathe in through your nose. Parasympathetic nervous system will have more tendency to get triggered. Breathing through your mouth will fight or flight you a lot of the time. There's also been studies recently done that I think by Northwestern University came out with this, where when you're breathing in through your mouth, you have less of a tendency to be able to recall things. It's a really interesting study. I have it, I think, on my Facebook page. Anyways, so I wanted to keep this video to 10 minutes. Here we are. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more videos like this, let me know. feel free to subscribe, and I hope you have a good sleep.